Hi, I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and welcome to another episode of New to Me. And today we are taking a look at the Ashanks 50-watt spot floodlight. Now, yes, this is a clone of a clone. It is a clone of a Dadu light. Pergear also made this model, but this is the Ashanks version, and this was about $25 less than the Pergear version. And it came from Singapore. It was $195 on Amazon. It's not Prime, so you will have to wait for it, but not too long. And this light was very interesting to me because I wanted to get into a spot floodlight, and while aperture lights are fantastic, they are way out of my budget at $600 a light. So I decided to get this, which is under $200, which is very user-friendly and beginner budget. So let's take a look at this, and I will tell you what I like, what I dislike. Let's just jump into it. Okay, now first off, this light has a CRI of greater than 93, so it's pretty good. It has no fan in it. It has a continuous kind of an airflow design. It is made of solid metals and plastics. First thing I really like on this thing are the barn doors. They are excellent. They have these little side and back panels that open up, so you can really adjust this to however you want. It also has these little clips here for clipping on gels and diffusion, which is awesome. Moving back, you have, of course, there's a little plastic thing in here, which I'll show you later. That is the diffusion. They say this thing, that is the daylight. They say this is bicolor. It is not. It is daylight. It just comes with this plastic daylight slide-in plastic piece, which isn't very good, and it's very weak and not really, but we'll get to that. The construction is pretty solid. This is a kind of like a rubberish metal handle. I'm not sure if it's metal or rubber. I think it's just plastic, but it's very rubbery and very solid. And you will notice on the side here that there is an exposed screw, and that's because this used to be mounted on this side. However, one of the main problems I'm having with this light is it does tend to tilt back, especially when you have the XLR in the back. It does tend to kind of start to creep backwards. So what I had to do, and I will show you how I fixed it, I did have to take it off this side and put it on the side where the actual adjustment knob was, because the adjustment knob was not doing anything. But let's continue on and we'll get back to that. So you have your spot adjustment here, and while it is plastic, it is pretty robust. I did go around and tighten all the little screws that are in here, just simply for the fact that it got loose during transfer. And we'll swing around the back. You've got a very nice grip, very nice handle here. And you have this XLR plug here. I'm not crazy about the pins in here because they feel like they can break, but this does go in with a little snap, which is very nice. Another really cool thing about this light is it has an umbrella holder. So you can put an umbrella in here and you can kind of sort of bounce your light, and that's very, very cool. One of the reasons why I bought it. Yeah, so that's about it. We'll take a look at the power supply in a minute because it do have some issues with how it's built, but let's just quickly take this thing apart. Take the screw up here and be careful because this is a spring around the screw and you can lose that. You remove the little tabby piece here, and again, be careful because you can lose that. And you just slide the barn doors up, and that's it. They come right off, done. Next, you can slide out this little piece, and this is it, kids. This is the piece. This is the little plastic thing. Doesn't really do much. I probably would just leave this out. And there is a metal ring in here. There's a metal ring in here, and there's also another one in here behind this piece of glass. Now, the cool thing about this light is it did not say this in the Amazon, on the Amazon page anywhere, but there is a almost like a magnifying glass type of lens that was surprisingly in here when I ordered it. And what it does, it helps to kind of bring down the light a little bit more, kind of focus the light a little bit more. And that was surprisingly in here. So I did not have to order it separately. And let's just take this out. And it does get stuck in here, so you do have to, it's one of the downsides, you do have to kind of turn it till it comes loose, kind of spin it and shake it till it kind of comes out. It is a pain in the neck to get out. Okay, and we're back. Now, this does come with, like I said, this little magnifier piece of glass. It's basically a frosted piece of glass, and it's concave here, and it basically what it does is it helps tighten down the light. It is a bitch to get out of this light. I actually had to take a tool, my little tool here, and I had to kind of pull it out, and it kind of fell right out, so just be real careful. There is also these very strange metal rings in here. No idea what these are for, probably some other kind of attachment. There's one here at the front, and there is one also on the inside. Not really sure what those are. So anyway, so now once you have this unattached, you have your spotlight here, and let's go ahead, and again, I'm still having problems keeping this upright. You really have to wrench this. Let's take a look at the power box here, and we'll just move this up. So the power box is interesting. You have, of course, your dimmer knob here, which is great. You have a push XLR, so you have to push to release XLR plug, which is actually a little bit better an XLR plug than the one that is up here. And let's talk about this for a minute. This has this most of these, like the Pergear and the Dedolite, they have like a metal cable that goes around here, and you can hang it off your light stand. This has this very strange, almost like refrigerator magnet kind of clampy thing, and it is terrible. It's solid plastic. It's pretty solid, but I do have this little green rubber twisty tie here to keep it from sliding. It is just not a great design. And of course, you have your normal three-prong computer plug here. Another thing about this power supply is, and again, it didn't say anything about it, is that this is not an American plug. So I went to plug this into my wall, and I couldn't. Luckily, I have my Coolis power supply. And I'll put a card up above on my review on this, but this saved my bacon. So I just basically took it, I plugged it in, turned it on, flipped this to AC, and power on. And as you can see, this thing gets crazy super bright. So let's go ahead and do some lighting tests. I will turn off my back wall, and you'll see how, first off, this works without anything in it, and then we'll put the filament back in it, this little magnifier piece, and we'll take a look. Okay, so I am still having some problems. This is kind of falling backwards. I think one of the problems is this is already wearing out even though I fixed it, and two, all the weight is in the back, so it's gonna fall back. Plus this cord is very tight. It is one of these bungee cords, which I hate, and that is actually pulling it down as well. So we are gonna try to tighten this as best we can. Make sure it's tight everywhere. Also the fact that this is not on a flat tip stand, it does have a 1/4 on the top. So that might be adding also to the problem. All right, so testing this. There you go, that is at full spot, and let's go ahead and move that a little bit more center. And as you can see, again, we're still having problems with this thing sliding down. I don't know how much more I could actually torque this thing. So you will need a pair of pliers to kind of get this thing to stop moving. This is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not. Moving on, this is without this filament in here. And as you can see, that is full power spotted down, and it is not too bad. And then we can kind of spot this all the way out. And the cool thing about this is you can use this if you're filming and the room is very dark. You could either bounce it off a wall or a ceiling, or just shoot it straight into the room, and that way you don't have to stop up your ISO. So that's it. And then we go, that's about 5% power. And let's go ahead and pull that in and bring that to 5%. And that's pretty cool. So one thing I noticed is that when you turn this thing on, it is a little bit brighter. and then you bring this up, and then you pull it back down, and then it's a little dimmer. It's not exact, and that's something I'm gonna watch for, but it's not a big deal. So let's go ahead and turn this off, and let's carefully put this glass in as not to get stuck. All right, so the glass is temporarily in. I'm just gonna hold this. And as you can see, the glass does actually squish the light down, makes it more compact, which is really awesome. It really focuses it. And then when you open this like this, it spreads it out and it makes it much softer. Again, I'm having problems with the glass, and there are a few things, and the mount here. So there are a few problems with this. Let's try to fix this. Okay. Okay, so there you have it. This is the Ashanks 50-watt spot floodlight. Can I recommend this? Absolutely not. There are a lot of problems as I kind of do this review. A lot of problems spring up. The mounts are terrible. It just don't work. The mounts just all it does is fall backwards. It's never gonna stay in position. I'm to the point now where I'm starting to strip this. As you can see, it's just starting to fall backwards. It is just not made well at all. The terrible power box, the fact that the filament in here gets stuck or just won't stay in. And as you can see, this thing is already drooping. And we can kind of loosen this like crazy and then tighten it like crazy. But as you can see, because all the weight is in the back and you have this bungee cord, it is going to be a pain in the butt. And you can already see it start to fall back. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. I am gonna check out the Per Gear. It's only $25 more. This light does have a CRI of greater than 93, but unfortunately, there's too much wrong with this light in order for me to keep it. So I say either spend the extra $25 or spend the money, get either I think of the Came TV or the aperture. This is going to be a huge problem as you go on. The best thing about it is the barn doors, and that's not enough to keep this light. Okay, so we did change stands. This is now a flat stand, does not have a 1/4-20 on it, and it's made it a little bit more stable, but once you plug in the XLR, it is still pulling backwards. It is just not great. It is a very big disappointment because I so really want to like this light, and there are a lot of problems with it. So I am probably going to try the Per Gear and see if that's any better, but as far as the Ashanks, I'm gonna have to say no. Back to Singapore with you. So that's it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and share this video with all your friends. And I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and this is new to me.